Hello, darling friends. Welcome to the Wow Kids Summit. It is with a lot of pride that we are bringing this summit to you. We have chosen 8 burning topics that are of concern to parents today. And on each one of these topics, we are going to have a conversation for about 25 to 28 minutes. Each conversation is driven by an exceptional person who's not only very happy as a person and very successful as a professional, but each one of these people are intense, passionate, loving and caring parents. Each one of them is very well known to me, so I know they come from a place of depth where bringing up their children properly and spreading the message of great parenting is very close to their heart. Today, the topic is, how do I help my children to focus and stay away from distractions? And to conduct this interaction, we have an amazing human being with us whose name is Raj Muthal. Now, Raj is a very, very dear friend of mine. Raj, welcome to this summit.
Love you, Naren.
Love you so much. Raj is a very dear friend of mine, and he, besides being an extraordinary human being, embodies a friend in need is a friend indeed. He is a director in many, many organizations. He is a serial entrepreneur who loves to invest in new companies and back the promoters to the hilt. He is also one of those rare certified trainers in Lions Club International who can travel all over the world on behalf of Lions Club and take various sessions on life leadership, emotional tranquility, and of course, parenting. So when I requested Raj to speak and conduct this interview, I'm so glad that Raj very, very happily agreed to it. And we are looking forward to having this conversation with Raj. So once again, Raj, welcome. And now the floor is open to you for you to ask questions. Remember, friends.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing to have you. Remember, friends, the topic for the day is, how do I help my children to focus and stay away from distractions? Raj.
Naren, this question is very, very near to my heart because my kids are growing in the age of 14 to 19.
Yeah.
And many of the times as a parent, I have a lot of expectation from them. And is that a reason by having more expectations from them? Sometimes they feel, and that becomes a reason for that distraction.
Raj, you put the question across very beautifully. I haven't come across many parents who can ask a question this way, that I have a lot of expectations from my children, and because my expectations are high, is that the cause for my children to lose their focus and give away to distractions? So first of all, congratulations on putting that question so well. And instead of blaming the child, you are attempting to internalize the situation. So that's really, really remarkable, Raj. Now, having asked that question, what helps a person to focus? There are a few things in a person's life which helps them to focus. One, when the goal that they have set is a goal that they decided, or when the goal that they have set is the goal for which they own responsibility, then it is easier for the child to focus on that goal. Just to give you an example, and this example is away from studies. My birthday is on 21st of July. And let's say my younger daughter, Mehak, decides to give me an extraordinary series of cards where she speaks about when she goes through different emotions, how I have helped her go through it. Now, because it's a goal that she has decided to have and she feels responsible to make it happen before my birthday, she has worked till 2:30 a.m. even when her school was full on and there were exams, but she would still focus on it and not get distracted by it. So it's easier for children to stay focused on their goal when they own the responsibility for it and they are not having the goal just because, like you said, the parents expect them to do something for it. The second thing, which is equally crucial, is it is easier for me to focus when I believe I will succeed. You know, Raj, when I think that the chances for me to succeed in this is less, then obviously I will not focus because I don't want to give my 100% because I've already seen myself failing over here. Hence my thinking is, what's the point in putting efforts? Then I might delay, I might procrastinate, I may not put the efforts. And obviously distraction is what I hug and focus is what I push away. So the second reason why children focus is when they believe that they have a high chance of succeeding in that goal. And the third thing which makes them focus is when they enjoy the entire process. So if Mehak, the younger one who wants to create this kind of a product, let's say enjoys artwork, enjoys writing, then it's easier for her to do it. But if she is a girl who enjoys cooking and she has to do artwork, it will be difficult for her to focus. So if parents can take care of these three angles, angle number one, are the kids actually feeling responsible and are they owning up? Just because you expect it won't happen. When you communicate enough, when you exchange enough dialogues, when you understand their point of view, when you can show them the light, when you can show them how this is going to help them, and when they can see themselves succeeding in that, and when they can enjoy the entire process and you can guide them to enjoy the entire process, children will focus much better. So it is not straight away your high expectations that you have. I mean, parents will have expectations because they see the potential in the child much more than anybody can see.
Yeah.
But along with those expectations, which probably matches the potential they have, there is a gap between these two. And if you can do these three things, then the gap gets bridged and the child moves from potential to performance. I pray that I have answered your question.
Yes, surely. One more thing which is troubling me a lot or challenging me a lot, I can say. 9th standard, Rushabh is my younger one is in 9th standard. And maths and science have always been a challenging subject for, even if they were for me also. So they are a little bit challenging for Rushabh also. And sometimes nowadays they have papers or they have sheets, homework for that matter. And sometimes just because the concepts of the subject are not clear to him.
Yes.
And so he feels कि चलो मेरे को नहीं करना है अभी, मेरे को वो समझा नहीं है. So they get distracted कि मैं थोड़ा दूसरा कुछ करता हूँ फिर मैं इस पे focus करूँ.
Correct.
So is that the reason of getting distracted? Few things are not clear to them and so they want to be away from that subject.
So Raj, if we go back to the previous answer, remember point number 2 was when the child believes they can succeed. Now if Rushabh thinks that कितना भी मेहनत करो नहीं समझेगा, whatever is the effort that I put, I will not comprehend it. And there is something which I will make greater progress in by a little lesser effort, then obviously there is a tendency for the child to go in that direction. Right? Now, here the child needs a little empathy because the child is also frustrated, A, with his inability to understand, and B, he knows sooner or later he has to do it. You know, I don't like Karela. And if there is that Karela on my plate, as long as it stays there, it is going to irritate me. I can't look at it and be happy. I will look at it and say, "Arey yaar, in 5 minutes I'll have to eat it. In 7 minutes I have to eat it. Why the Karela tastes like this? Why couldn't it taste better?" You know, in a conversation with Karela, I will keep blaming and cursing Karela. Similarly, when the child goes through this, understand that the child has certain negative emotions now. He has anxiety, he has stress, he has worries, he has frustration. Now, when you can sit with him and you can make him laugh a lot, when you can sit with him and crack jokes, let's say when you can go and play with him sports which is of his interest, help him to release those pent-up emotions. And then, if you can break down the issue into small manageable units. For example, if you can tell him, if he has to study for maths, let's say for 1.5 hours in a day, now can you make him study it in gaps of 20 minutes each or blocks of 20 minutes each? So can you tell him, let's do one thing, let's study maths 4 times a day, but only for 20 minutes. So in the morning before he goes to school, probably for 20 minutes. After he comes back from school for 20 minutes. In the evening around 7:30 for 20 minutes. Another 20 minutes before he goes to sleep in the night. Close to 1.5 hours has been covered. He didn't have the anxiety of doing it for such a long time at the same time. And in this 20 minutes, if you can give him a little taste of success, always remember this. Nothing boosts my focus more than success. Nothing boosts my success more than success. Raj, do you follow cricket?
Yeah.
So in cricket,
Yes.
What do you say? If a batsman hits a 4 or he hits a 6, or even if the batsman middles the ball properly and there is that sweet sound of middling the ball from his bat, that little success seems to grow confidence. And in that confidence, he is able to focus. So if you can give him a taste of success in those 20 minutes, not like you could not understand this, or this can be done in 5 minutes, how dumb you are. This is so simple after so many efforts, why are you not able to understand? Now all these things is taking his confidence away, is increasing his anxiety and stress. So bring it down to those units where every 20 minutes he tastes some progress and some success. Bang, you will find slowly and steadily his resistance to these subjects will also go down and his focus towards these subjects will also improve. Raj?
Yeah. Naren, one of my friend is also watching us live. She just texted me a message related to the same point.
Yes.
And she says that sometimes indulging in many of the activities, indulging in a lot of activities, it leads to distractions.
Yes.
Tu ye bhi kar le, tu ye bhi kar le. So does it lead to distraction?
That's another beautiful question, and you should say thank you to your friend who has messaged this question. The answer is this. There are some people who are capable of multitasking and learning many things in the same phase of their life. And there are some people who can focus only on one. There are also some people who can indulge in many but get mastery over one. Now there are different kinds of people. So there is no one rule which applies to all. There are different rules which applies to different people. And I see the same thing happening in my home. Now you know my wife Bharti very well. Now Bharti can do 10 things at the same time. She'll wake up in the morning, cook food for everybody. Right now, because there is lockdown, around 8 o'clock, she sits with her laptop and she does, she's a teacher in Symbiosis International School. She's an art teacher there. So she'll send the homework and she has gained mastery in the last 4 or 5 days on how to operate the iPad, how to get technologically smart. And she can learn this. She can pick it up very fast. After that, she'll go back to again some work at the home. Then she will do her research using technology again. Then she will do some embroidery, some artwork because that releases her. Then in the evening, she'll conduct painting and drawing classes, which come to her at home earlier. But now in this, she's doing it through Zoom classes. Then she doesn't mind going to dance classes for hobby along with other friends in the society. All of us at home are amazed to see how she's able to do so many things. If she has 10 friends, all 10 of them, when they meet me, will say, your wife is too good, she's too incredible. Where does she get the energy and how does she do so many things beautifully well? Now that's Bharti for you. I, on the other hand, can focus on one thing at a time. So when we are preparing for the parenting summit, there is nothing else which can work in my life. I want to take a deep dive, shut myself from everything in the world, just focus on this, keep thinking, keep talking, keep analyzing, keep understanding, keep getting insights. I am a one-trick pony. Now I also have my eldest daughter, which you also know, called Jo. Now she will be master in one. Let's say dealing with children. She's too good, exceptional, the best I've seen in the world. And I'm not exaggerating, nor I'm saying it because I'm the father. My eldest daughter, Jo, is just too good with children. She is brilliant in one thing. She is brilliant in doing research on children. But if you ask her to learn other things in life, she is good in them. She doesn't mind doing it as a hobby. As a yoga class hobby, she doesn't mind to do it. But she won't take a deep dive over there. So depending on the nature of the child, what's the nature of the child? What is the nature of your child? Depending on the nature of the child, give them either one thing to do or give them one core thing and many other chota things, which will be hobbies, expressions, and fun learning. Or you can tell them, boss, you are very capable. You can handle 5 different things. No issues whatsoever. So depending on the child, take an approach. There is no one rule which fits all. Right?
So that expectation part also can be taken care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, my eldest, our son, Neeraj. Now, Neeraj is also a little like me, focuses on one thing, cannot do too many things, wants to go down in the evening to play with his friends, but focuses only on work. He won't learn 3 things at the same time. But Mehak, she can learn singing, she can go for her dance classes, she can also learn how to operate technology, she's also doing a course on creative writing, and she's also studying psychology. So Neeraj cannot be Mehak, Mehak cannot be Joe, Joe cannot be Neeraj. 3 of my children, all 3 very, very different. And it is my children who have learned that there are 3 different kinds of people.
Then I travel a lot, and sometimes parents also have a sharing with me. So the wife feels that husband is ignoring the child. And the wife wants that he should not ignore, because sometimes that ignorance may become may force a child for distractions. So how the ignorance part also leads towards distraction. How has to be tackled?
So Raj, again, there is a very smart and a very deep question that you have, and I must appreciate very relevant, real life, practical questions that you have been able to gather and you're asking me. It's very clear you've done some very beautiful research along with your friends to find out what are the questions which should be handled in this. So on behalf of all the parents who are going to benefit out of this, thank you so much, Raj, for putting in the hard work that you have put. Now to the answer. I'll tell you what is practical and what is the right approach. What is practical is to understand who can devote how much time at home in bringing up the children. Let's be very practical about it. So maybe Raj says, every evening I can be for half an hour with my children because I run multiple companies. I come home by 9. I've had a long day. I've also worked for 11 hours endlessly, multiple decisions to be taken every day. So when I enter home, I want to relax. Let's say Raj lives that kind of a life. And then at home, if Raj is required to be with the children for 2 to 3 hours, maybe that is not an area where Raj can devote so much time. Let's say, for example. Now, in that case, what is the ideal thing which will happen? Now, this I say to every husband and wife, and all the parents who are listening, please listen with a very open mind. I'm a trainer, I'm a life coach, and my work schedule is also a little long. My wife also, like I shared, does multiple things, so she's also extremely busy in her life. Now, both of us do not have abundance of free time per se, and both of us are exceptionally passionate parents. So what is it that we have done? We have realized that most of Bharti's work happens from home, so she is around to groom the children for a much larger time. My work happens outside home, so I am at home for a little smaller time to groom the child. So let's first understand what is the practical situation, how much time can be devoted by whom. Having said this, I also have my friends who reach home by 6 o'clock and then take the studies of the children completely, and I'm speaking about men friends. I know ladies, my very good friends, who also put in long hours of work, and they reach home around 10:30. Until that time, the father has taken exceptional care of children. So a dear friend of mine, Parul, she works brilliantly well. She has an exceptional career. And there are times when she's out 11. And fortunately, her husband has that freeway where he runs in those business, but he can be home around 8, 7, 6 as per needs be. So very practically, let's find out who has what kind of a work and how much time can be devoted by each person inside the home. This is the first practical understanding. If over here we don't have an agreement, then there are going to be fights, then there are going to be misunderstandings. For example, if Bharti says, I'm going to come home only around 10:30, and Naren, you have to be home by 6 o'clock, then I might need to make certain adjustments in my work. I might need to make certain compromises in, let's say, my financial earnings. And if that is okay for the family, and mutually if we decide, okay, instead of earning 1 lakh, if I can earn 70,000 per month, it's beautiful, but she needs me to be at home at 6 o'clock. If it's a mutual decision and suits all of us, fair enough. But there, through conversations, we need to come to an understanding of how much time who is able to devote at home. Now, this is the first thing. Second, I said about approach. Now, in parenting, let the parents decide who is going to be responsible for what. So in our home, what has happened? Any training which is required for children on how to handle complicated situations in life is my responsibility. Any area where children need to be exposed to the world outside is my responsibility. Any area where we have to do research to find out what is the path which the children should take in the future is my responsibility. Any area where we need to discuss about behavior, if Niru, my son, or Mehak, my daughter, said something which was not right, then to handle these situations is my responsibility. Which means my responsibility is very clear-cut. Now, how I execute this responsibility, do I do it on a daily basis, a weekly basis, is completely left to me. Now, this is then communicated to children that this is what I am going to take care of, this is what Mama is going to take care of. It's just, for want of a better word, better organized towards parenting. For us, it has worked brilliantly well. And for many people whom I coach in parenting on a person basis, this has worked brilliantly well. So, don't let anything remain unsaid. Communicate between parents and find out what is practical. And then divide areas. Now, how you have divided those areas, in those areas, I can only suggest to Bharti, and Bharti can suggest to me, but the final call remains mine. If we do it that way, then children don't get distracted, they remain very focused because they know that they're going to be answerable to this only for one person. It does not become a matter of convenience that today it's convenient to talk to Mama, let me talk to Mama. Tomorrow it's convenient for Papa, let me talk to Papa. You can completely avoid this. So find out what can be done, how much time can be given, and who will execute what responsibility. That's.
Now the child in the teenage also have this habit of socializing.
Yeah.
So can the freedom in all aspects can lead to distraction? And how to monitor that? So दोस्तों के संग तो भेजना पड़ेगा, दोस्तों के parties में तो छोड़ना पड़ेगा. So company of the child, how it has to be monitored, or how we can make the child not to be distracted more and much with the socializing trends.
Raj, what I might say now as an answer may not be what people expect as an answer, but this is what works for people. Once again, it's a very beautiful and a relevant question. My answer will come in 2 words, and then I will elaborate on those 2 words. Trust and respect. In one of the sessions, I was telling the parents that children need respect more than they need love. In my eyes, if children don't see respect, like I was saying in the other interview, that when I say the word Raj, your name is Raj, so if I say Raj, now you listen to me saying your name, but along with that name, what do you feel? Do you feel respect? Do you feel fun? Do you feel trust? Do you feel belonging? Do you feel bonding? Now that is very crucial. At the same time, if I say Raj, and you see doubt, my thinking is, anyway you don't doubt me, which means if I make a mistake, I have to be careful. On the other hand, Naren trusts me, so I better lift myself and live up to the standards. That's the classic mistake which parents do, is their eyes and their tone says, I don't trust you, but their words are saying, I trust you. So our interrogation with the children is, tum kiske ja rahe ho? That boy is not right, na? Some days ago, you were saying that this guy is not fair and you're going with them today. See, I trust you, so I will send you. But why are you going with them? Maybe the trust kidhar hai? So we think we can get away by communicating what we don't mean, but pretending that we mean it. It doesn't work with today's children. So I would say the base has to be trust and respect. Having said that, when your child has strong moral values, when your child is very clear about self-created boundaries, you don't have to bother about the company of people with whom your child is. Neeraj, my son, joined MIT college to do his engineering. And Neeraj is a very passionate footballer. One of the reasons why he chose MIT was because they have an extraordinary football team. He used to practice every day in college for the first 6 months. And suddenly one day, Bharti, my wife, told me, for the last 2 months, he's not going for football. He's coming back home early. Now, behavior, outside world, my domain. So that night in dinner, I asked him, you're not enjoying football or this is not the season? He said, no, Papa, I've dropped out. I said, what happened? He said, Papa, out of 14 people, when we joined and started, there were 2 people who used to take drugs and about 6 of them who used to smoke and drink. In these months, they have convinced the others that taking drugs and liquor is necessary. Otherwise, you will not last at your peak in those 90 minutes. To win the game, they are forcing every participant to take drugs. And I don't want to have drugs. Drugs is not right, and that is not our family culture. They are starting with smoking and drinking. They are offering a beer, but I know beer tomorrow is going to become whiskey. Whiskey tomorrow is going to become drugs. So I have dropped out. I said, but you joined that college for football. I said, yeah, but my character and values are more important than the football team. And he just left it. I didn't have to tell him when he's going, be careful, look forward to it, see to it that you don't fall in. When the values are strong in your child, you do not have to bother about these things. They are smart enough. They know how to take care of themselves. They know who's a wrong influence in their life. And very gently, they'll come out right. And if you are very concerned about your child, somewhere subconsciously you might be believing that I have not been able to give the right values or very grounded confidence to my children. Start working on that from today onwards. Make your child so strong that the opinion of the world does not matter to him. Make the child so strong that the child believes I can make friends wherever I go. Make your child so strong that even if your child is alone, your child knows how to be happy. He is not dependent on few people in the world outside. He is dependent on himself to live his beautiful life. You will find if that is the scenario, then the child does not get distracted irrespective of the number of parties to which he is called or wherever he is going. Again, fortunately, not only our children, but I have seen many parents having children where they go out with everybody, they know their limits, and it is self-created limits, not parent-imposed limits, and they are safe and sound. In fact, they help enough other people to stay on track rather than going off track. Raj, that's my question. So I told you in the beginning, some parents may not want to know this answer. The beginning of the answer is 2 words, respect and trust. And the last part of the answer is ensure that you give them values very, very deep, like banyan tree, where no storm in the world can uproot them. If you do that, they can handle anybody in the world. Raj, we have time only for one last question. So there you go.
Yeah, the most close to my heart questions, and maybe it may be a question close to the heart of many parents also. Social media is the biggest distraction at present nowadays. So how to keep our children away from that social media attraction and which gets distracted after a time?
So Raj, this is a very easy question to answer. When your children have very clear goals and when they understand the effort that they need to put on the goals that they have set for themselves, you don't have to discuss about social media distraction with them. You only need to discuss, how are you wanting to handle it? You set a few personal examples and say, I think this is what will help me to handle it. Take it on a personal level. For example, if you're a person who sees WhatsApp or Facebook or Insta before you go to sleep as the last thing you do, all you need to do is, nowadays when I'm going to the room, 15-20 minutes before I go to sleep is just getting wasted out of it. I'm getting distracted. So, Palak, what do you think I can do to ensure that this does not happen? I'm getting distracted. I need your help to solve it. Can you tell me what should I do? Your daughter Palak will give you a solution. And then you will say, okay, to make it a little easier for me, can we do it as family? For example, I understand I should keep my phone outside before I go to sleep. Can we do it as a family just for 7 days to help me? So everybody keeps the phone outside. Then I don't feel like a victim inside my room. And when we come out in the morning, we can take the phones. Does that work? Shall we do it? For Papa's sake, can you give it a shot for a week? Make it into a game. Make it into a I need your help. Make it into I am also struggling, but I want your help to solve it. Then when they struggle, they understand it's natural, but let's put our mind to solving it. Otherwise, we sound like a preacher who's saying, don't do it, you should not do it. But they know that daddy is also distracted. They know Chachu is also distracted. They know my auntie is also distracted. And they're telling me not to get distracted. Raj, it doesn't work that way. So pretend as if you're playing a game with them. Involve them in finding solutions. And cajole them into helping you to stay away from that distraction. You will see it works like miracles.
Thank you, Naren. Thank you so much.
Raj, thank you so much for this interaction. I loved every question you had. And I'm sure that the question that you have asked and the answers which we could uncover is going to help thousands of parents. You know, we have got close to 65,000 registrations. Last I checked, it was 60,000 plus, and they were telling me we might cross 65,000. Imagine all those parents who will listen to this, who will grow out of it, who will learn a lot of it. I mean, what a beautiful work that you have helped us to do. Thank you so much, and I wish you great skills in parenting. I pray that in every aspect of life, you grow in abundance. Thank you so much for this.
Love you, Naren. Thank you for the opportunity, Naren. Thank you so much. Love you.
Love you. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, darling friends. Welcome to yet another session in the Wow Parenting Summit. We are very excited to have all of you. Let me begin with the great news. And the great news is we have crossed 65,000 registrations for this summit. So congratulations to each one of us who's here. And thank you so much for participating. We have chosen 8 critical topics which parents of the new age, parents who are modern day parents, parents who stay mostly nuclear families go through. And today we are going to have a very, very interesting topic, and that is how do I handle children's tantrums and their misbehavior which comes every now and then. You know, when we talk to parents and we ask them on a daily basis, is there an issue which antagonizes you, which pains you? Most parents would say on a daily basis, if there is an issue, it is the tantrums of the children and the misbehavior of children. So we decided today to have with us a partner whom I respect a lot, who has been all over the world, who has studied in Stanford for his MBA, who had his own startup at one point of time, who is a very passionate parent of a 3-year-old angel, who does brilliant research and one of the most involved fathers that I've ever seen in my life. His name is Swapnil Saikar. So Swapnil, welcome to this show.
Thanks, Naren. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, it's real pleasure to have you because I know you are a very passionate father. You also do research brilliantly well, and handling marketing for Amazon, you also go for data, and minutest of data can make a lot of sense to you. So we are very, very excited to have you because compared to every other person who has been our partners in this summit, you come from a very different level, which is very deep into the corporate world. So Swapnil, what would be your questions on children, tantrums, and misbehavior?
Yeah. So first of all, it's a great pleasure to talk to you, Naren. I've been following you for some time. I've known you for probably over a decade, probably almost a decade, through my wife, Misha. And also, congratulations for crossing the 65,000 number.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So, congrats.
Yeah.
Coming to the questions, we did talk about this over the last 1 week, and I have reached out to some of my friends.
Yes.
Me and my wife both. So I have a list of questions. So the first question that I have heard from a few ones is how to make kids do one thing at a time, right? How do you make kids focused on doing one thing at a time? For example, my son or my daughter starts something and without ending that one thing, moves on to something else. So if there are any tips, if there is any guidance from you, that'll be super helpful.
Okay. Swapnil, now there are two kinds of situations. A situation is where a person can do multitasking. So they start one job, they continue to another job, they do the third thing, they do the fourth thing, they come back to the second thing, move again to the third thing, come back to the first thing, move back to the fourth thing. Now these are the people who like to have many things on their plate. You see their desk and you will find they're reading 3-4 books at the same time. You see their computer screen and you will find they probably have 100 different icons on their computer screen. In fact, the other day when my wife cleaned my son's room, my son was scandalized because he said, in my mess, I knew everything, what is where. Now that you have cleaned it, I'm completely lost. No, he said, I want these many things around me, which is incomplete, because based on my interest at that moment, I get involved in different things. Based on the emotions, the mindset that I have, I get involved in different things. And I completely resonate with them because right now, I have a book of HBR on my table. I'm also reading the autobiography of Michelle Obama. I'm also doing a couple of courses on digital marketing from UCLA. So I am also a person who would like to get involved in multiple things at a point of time. So if a parent's concern is that my child is putting their fingers into too many pies, good news is it means your child is capable of doing good things in multiple different dimensions and directions. Good thing is your child is multi-talented and they can handle many, many things at the same time. So if you look into it from that point of view, you understand your child might be showing signs of capability of being a leader because they can handle multiple things. Now in this situation, what I request parents to do is ask the child. From a parent's perspective, when we see, we think the child is not focused. But when we ask the child might tell something which tells how the child's mind works. For example, if you ask me, Naren, why are you doing so many things? I'll say, see, keeping in mind the number of women who are going to be present in the Wow Parenting Summit, because we have 68% women and 32% men among the 65,000 people. So I said, let me understand how a woman's mind works. And who else to read than Michelle Obama, who sacrificed her lawyer's career for the sake of President Barack Obama. I would like to do that for 1.5 hours. And then I know the future of wow parenting depends a lot on digital marketing. So I would also take a deep dive into digital marketing. I'm also a business coach to people. So I would like to read on what the top thinkers and top leaders in business are doing. So if you ask me, I'm not distracted. I'm not losing focus, but I've created buckets in which many things needs to be done because my life has many strings attached to it. So when you listen to me, you understand if Naren is reading 3 books or doing 4 things, that's actually a very smart thing to do. And it's not that he's off track. So this is one part of the answer. When a child does multiple things, they might be creating their own sense of balance based on their interests and based on their excitement.
Got it.
Having said that, if there are children who start but don't complete, like let's say my daughter Mehak starts playing with a puzzle, does the puzzle, it's a 32-piece puzzle, she does it till 7 pieces, and then she says, I don't want to do it anymore. And then she goes to another puzzle, does 6-7 pieces, I don't want to do anymore. Which means it's very crucial. If the child is giving up the moment things become difficult, then you and me have to think about how to deal with that situation. If the child is just switching things because it is interested in many things, then there is no cause for concern per se. So if the child is giving up because it became a little difficult, don't tell the child to complete. Because children are naturally motivated to do that where chances of success is very high. And the child may not have a long-term point of view about if I give up, it will become a part of my subconscious mind. And then 5 years later, child does not understand all that. So what I will tell my daughter Mehak is, you have done 7, there are 32. Shall we give 10 pieces a shot? I understand it's complicated. Shall we give 10 pieces a shot? 10 karke dekhe kya? Now, when the child moves from 7 to 10, it is still not completed, but it is a little more confident about itself. Next time it will give 10 a shot and not stop with 7. In all these matters, my appeal to parents is, take it as a long-term thing. Tell yourself, okay, in 6 months' time, I'll make my child complete a puzzle. Take it step by step. Next week, once, let's see if we can do 12. Month, let's see if we can do 16 and then celebrate it saying we completed half of it. Gradually the child can expand the mind because we are talking about mind's expansion. So if they are steady and if the child is giving up because it is finding it difficult, give them those small milestones which the child will cover, grow in confidence. More importantly, the child will not see the judgment in the parent's eyes that you are not good enough. You are not even completing. Why do you start and not complete? If this is what happens, so the moment the child sees big doubts on the face and the eyes of the parents, the child sees its reflection and starts to believe, I don't think I am good enough. So when you make 7 to 10, our face still has confidence on the child. And that is the greatest tonic for our child.
Thanks, Naren. That makes sense. So if I would just, if I can just paraphrase what you suggested was multitasking is okay. Multitasking is in fact encouraged in like many cases, and we should allow our kids to have the small wins, so that they can go ahead and complete the larger task in front of them.
Absolutely. And take it over a period of time. Swapnil, the biggest mistake which parents do is they want their child to become a genius overnight. What they don't realize is it took 22 years to find law of gravity. Newton didn't find it overnight. The apple didn't fall in the morning and the evening law of gravity was not ready. 22 years. I mean, to make the first aircraft, 15 years. So anything great requires time. And to complete a task is a great thing. Give it some time.
Got it. Makes sense. Thanks, Naren. I hope all the parents will find a lot of value in what you said. Coming to the second question, that I have heard that from a few of our friends, there are many times when kids refuse to help out at home.
Yeah.
Kids refuse to help out at home. It can be simple things as younger kids or toddlers wrapping up or cleaning up the things that they have been doing, or like in today's COVID-19 lockdown, there are a lot of things that everyone in the house is stepping up to doing things. So how can we deal with such children or such situations, and what can we do to help them value things better?
I really believe that you asked me two brilliant questions. And in case I forget about the second one, how can I teach the children to value things better? Just remind me when I complete the answer to the first one. Before I go into the actual answer, let me talk to you about two words to set the context of the answer. There is one word called discipline, and there is another word called punishment. Now, discipline and punishment does not mean the same. I am disciplining the child and I am punishing the child might be used in the same breath, but they mean two different things. To discipline the child means to teach the child. To punish the child means to give pain to the child. Now imagine I want Swapnil's cooperation. Now can I get Swapnil's cooperation if I give pain to Swapnil? I can get his compliance because he does not want to be punished, but I won't get cooperation. Swapnil might do it in my presence, but it will not become his character, it will not become his habit. Like you typically see on the traffic signals, the signal is red, and if the police constable is standing there, everybody is respecting the traffic signal. And the police constable is not there, with impunity, so many people break the traffic signal. Now here we are not getting cooperation, we are only getting compliance. At best, punishment can get compliance and not cooperation. Discipline, on the other hand, is what leads to learning and what leads to cooperation. Now, how to create discipline? One obvious is to be a role model. It's a little harsh truth, but when Indians go to Singapore, they are very disciplined about time and cleanliness. And with all respect to my people, I am a staunch Indian. I believe in my country. Mera Bharat Mahan, India is great. But when the same Indians land in the Bombay, Delhi airports, just outside the airport, they attempt to throw something in the dustbin. It doesn't go, falls on the ground. They carry it out. Now in India, if we see garbage at nooks and corners, the mind says it's okay if I add on to it. In Singapore, when I say it is spick and span, I don't want to be the first person to create a garbage bin out there. So when the child sees role models around and then the child sees parents doing those things and keeping it properly, their mind only sees this as a possibility, and therefore by nature they start doing that. I mean, you would have seen Ara would have attempted to walk inside Misha's shoes, or one of those days.
Many times.
She might want to, make fingers as if she has seen somebody, maybe a grandparent, do this finger like that.
I
know when Mehak was younger, she would wear my t-shirt, even if my t-shirt was longer than an entire gown for her. Which means children want to do what parents are doing. So if I can be a great role model, it becomes very easy for the children to follow it. Second, when I do something happily, not out of pain, not out of anxiety, not out of fear, not because I've been told, but if I can do it with a lot of fun, maza aa gaya, you will find the child will also start following. Because children by nature love to play. Their play is their learning. So through play, if we can make this as a part of their life, it becomes very, very easy.
Yeah.
The third thing, which normally does not happen at all, but I've seen some parents do it brilliantly well, they talk about their struggle with their child. For example, Swapnil is sitting and having his dinner. And just before he's sitting to have his dinner, he's been on his laptop. Now dinner is coming and Swapnil tells Ara, you know what, Ara? Papa has been sitting and working for 1.5 hours and I'm feeling lazy. I don't want to go and wash my hands. My hands are a little dirty, but I want to eat because I'm very hungry. What should Papa do? Should Papa go and wash his hands and then eat? Or should I straight away eat? You'll be surprised. You're talking about your struggle, right?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised that Ara will tell you, wash your hands. Because she's probably seen Misha, or you tell her, go wash your hands. Now, when she tells you to wash your hands and you take her and you say, okay, Papa will wash hands, will you teach me how to wash hands? And there she teaches you. Now, to her, it becomes a whole game. And then you come back and say, Ara is such a brilliant child. She knows the right things to do in life. I'm very proud of her. Now, a behavior which is recognized and rewarded always gets repeated. You spoke about your struggle. So next time when Ara is sitting and does not want to keep her toys in place, and let's say Ara becomes busy in something else, all you need to do is call Ara, ask her to sit on your lap and say, you are going through the same struggle which Papa went through, na? Papa did not want to wash hands and Ara does not want to put it back. Then Ara told Papa wash hands and Papa washed. What is Ara going to do now? You will through asking questions, we are able to get so much cooperation out of children. So much cooperation. I'll give you another example. Last year I found a mother actually beating the child. Child wanted to go down and play and the mother was saying, wear your jacket and go. Love is present, intentions are good. But it was more about a demand, and then the statement came, if you don't wear it, I will not allow you to go down to play. Threat? Punishment? Swapnil, tell me, are you able to respect people who threaten you and punish you?
No, of course not. Yeah, so as adults we don't.
When a child goes through threats, will the child be able to respect this person? And if I don't respect this person, why would I want to do what that person wants me to do?
Yeah.
I don't respect you. So even if you say do, I will do the opposite. And that is where power struggles happen. You will be surprised, 3-year-old, 4-year-old children having power struggles. And parents are participating in that power struggle. Why are you not listening to me? So all I did, because I was there, I asked the mother through my eyes, just wait for a moment. I brought the child, her name was Swasti. Told Swasti, darling, come here. Uncle wants to know, will it be cold downstairs? Swasti is thinking and then she says, When I begin to play, it is cold. But after I play for a few minutes, uncle, it becomes very warm. That is why I am not wearing my jacket and going down. So then all I did is, okay, let's do one thing. Is it okay if you wear your jacket and go down, start playing? The moment you feel cold, you can take your jacket off and put it carefully. After you complete the game, you will have a little sweat. If you don't wear your jacket, you will catch cold very fast. You complete your game, wear your jacket, gossip with your friends for another 10-15 minutes, and then come back home. Do you think that might work? She went to her mother and said, please give me my jacket. So cooperation cannot be enforced. It has to be earned. Asking questions, being role models, making it into a game, sharing about personal conflicts that I am going through and asking the child to solve it are ways by which all these things are very easily handled, Swapnil. Very easily handled.
Yeah.
Now coming to your second question, and I'm glad that I remembered it. When you said, how do I make children value their things? Right? It is not just about things. If I can make my child a responsible child, the child will value my things. The child will value your things. The child will have grace and gratitude in their heart. So the approach over here is not about things. The approach over here is not about things. It is about a sense of responsibility. Now, how do I make my child feel responsible is the right question. And not just how do I make my child value things. Again, when I respect the child, when I ask questions and nurture my child, when I appreciate my child for the small victories my child is overcoming, when the child sees mommy and papa valuing things, the child will become responsible. Having said that, I will just mention a small thing. Many parents speak a lot about money and the cost of things. You know, this was such a costly dress and you spoiled it.
Yeah.
Now, whether the dress is cheap or costly, responsibility means I will take care of things properly. It is my brand new phone and you scratched it. Now, the moment I talk to the child about the price of things, I am not talking to the child about the value of things anymore. So my appeal to parents is completely stay away from speaking about the price of things. It shows to the child that you value money more than the other aspects of life.
Yeah.
Make the child feel responsible for whatever it has, and you will find the child will take care of things and opportunities in their life. Swapnil?
Makes sense. Naren, on that last point, on the couple of examples as you gave on the phone as well as the new dress, how would you then talk to the child in such a case? How would you do is take care of my new phone, or the dress was costly, don't spoil it? How would you do if you were in that place?
So I would ask the child. I really believe in asking the child to understand how they are thinking. And when I understand that, I know which blanks I have to fill. So children are not like a whiteboard where I can write whatever I feel like. They're already having so many thoughts inside. And among their thoughts, my thought has to go and fit. So I will ask the child, Beta, this is a phone that I have bought and I want you to handle it. As you handle this phone, what will be your thoughts? Tell Papa. This dress is a party dress. Normally for home we have 10 dresses. If one is a little spoiled or one has gone for a wash, we have another one. But this kind of a dress, we have only one. Now, if you have to wear it and you are going on a party, how would you handle it? Give the child situations. You are having a plate of food in your hand and there are a lot of children over there. Somebody might push and somebody else's plate of food might come on you. Your dress might get spoiled. Is it okay? How are you planning to save it? I am, through questions, directing the child to think. I am not giving the answers. I am helping the child discover the answer.
Sure. Yeah.
If the child says, I don't know what I can do, is it possible to find a little higher place to sit? Where even if children are of your height and your age and if they fall, they might spoil your shoes or your legs, which you can clean, but it won't dirty your dress. Do you think that will be a really smart thing to do? And if the child says, there are no high seats over there, is it okay if we tell auntie over there that, auntie, I want to sit in a higher chair because I don't want my dress to get spoiled? Will that be possible? So when I ask, the child is actually visualizing that scene before the child gives an answer. Swapnil, we can create miracles by asking the children questions. They feel engaged, they feel smart, they feel valued, and they feel confident about handling situations. In fact, tomorrow, when Ara has a sibling, you will find you and Misha don't have to do parenting. Ara will teach the sibling all these things in the style in which you have discussed with Ara. It's beautiful to see it this way. Swapnil?
Yeah. Makes sense. Thanks, Naren. Coming to siblings, I think the last question is on siblings that I have that I've got. So this question is how to handle sibling fights, especially when both are crying, yelling, and blaming each other.
Okay. I will give you a very small technique, but it's an extremely powerful technique. There are two words which creates magic with children. See, whether the child is throwing tantrums or they are misbehaving, what is their greatest need at that point of time? If the child is misbehaving and throwing tantrums that I want that banana and that banana should not be eaten by my sibling, what is the child actually wanting? The child wants to be heard and the child wants to be understood. Swapnil is magical when the child feels heard and understood. Even if they don't get what they wanted, they don't mind.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, you say that I want to go for a jog. And let's say Misha says, no, I want a little help in the kitchen. Now, you understand, maybe the maids are not coming and there is a little help which is required, but you have scheduled your exercise. Your jog and exercise is very, very important to you. Classic situation where tempers might flare. Is my jog not important? She says, so this kitchen work, am I the only person who's going to enjoy the food that I'm going to cook? And now there is a power struggle which is going on. And both are feeling we are not heard and we are not understood. Second leg of feelings, I am always taken for granted. Third level of feeling, my needs are not important to the other person. But depending on the nature of people, either we go into an aloof mode or we become aggressive in the conversation. Same thing happens with children. Same thing happens with children. Now, in that moment, if we can just use two words and fill in the blanks. You wanted dash 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 so that dash dash dash. This is a magical phrase.
Yeah.
So you wanted me to help you in the kitchen so that. Now the moment you frame that sentence, Misha will believe she has been heard, she has been understood. Then if you say, is it okay if I go for my jog, come back in about 45 minutes, and then complete this task, you will still be able to do what you wanted to do. She's heard, she's understood, and she also looks at you and says, yeah, absolutely, go. I mean, yeah, your exercise is also important. In fact, you really enjoy it. Nah, this work can be done after 45 minutes. So you wanted so that.
Yeah.
Now let's say I am the witness and Swapnil and Misha are my children. All I need to do is then look at Swapnil and say, so Swapnil, you wanted to go for a jog so that you feel that high, and then you are confident the full day you will be fresh and you will be able to help at home a lot. So is that what was going on in your head? Misha, you wanted this help so that the kitchen work is done, and then you can do the little work that you have, which is from Montessori, and then you wanted some quality time with Swapnil in the evening. Is that why you wanted the kitchen work out from the to-do list? Now, the moment both of you believe, yes, somebody heard me and has understood me, now if I give a solution, I bet my life, if both of you are genuine, you will not say no to me. So this is
makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That is a magic phrase. You wanted dash 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 so that dash dash dash. Now, so that is very crucial. That is where the maturity of parents come in. You wanted is my ability to understand so that why behind that activity. Sibling fights will end because when you say that, the siblings are also able to understand each other's point of view, and slowly this phrase becomes the way in which we deal with differences of opinion.
Yeah.
Swapnil, how I wish we can continue this conversation for a long, long time. But unfortunately, I think 30 minutes is gone and it went in a jiffy. We have time for 30 minutes. I assume that I have answered most of the questions that you had.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. These were some fantastic insights, Naren. I'm sure me, my friends and parents, whoever listen to your podcast will benefit tremendously from them. So thank you. Thank you for your guidance.
All right, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for bringing such brilliant questions. I mean, these questions from somewhere bring these answers out, and I'm so glad you asked these questions. And I am equally confident that the thousands of parents who are going to watch this parenting summit are going to grow tremendously. More importantly, I have a belief that the children are going to be very excited that my parents watched this summit because their life has kind of become easy and better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thanks a ton for this, Swapnil. I will reach out to you.
Thanks again, Naren.
And let us complete this meeting now. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. Thanks, Naren.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.